The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
I want to go outside, but I feel like I'm too messed up. I don't know if I talk like it. I don't think I talk like it, do I? I'll have to go back and watch my video, see if I talk like it. But I'm on like three different pain pills. Well, if you count Tylenol arthritis, 4 different pain pills. It's just gonna share my story. I was told this lady driving me this morning, she had to get somebody to drive me to Oak Ridge from Knoxville. And both times she was driving, I kept thinking to myself, I can do this. Why can't I do this? Why can't I drive down to Palisippi? I've done it before, people. Why can't I do that? Well, that's what I want to talk about. Why can't I do that? I don't like talking on this video with my head laying back like this. I'd rather talk with my head up like this, but I have to rest my neck. My neck hurts me. My neck is really sore, and it hurts me, and I have to lay my head back. I feel like my neck can't hold my head up right now when I'm laying my head back like this, but I want to talk to you like this and not like this, but whatever. I want to talk to you like this, so just get over it. 2020, July 6th. I remember the day because the reason why I remember the day so well, there's a reason. My dad's birthday was July the 7th. My birthday's a week after my dad, July 14th. And I had a doctor's appointment in Morristown. And I was driving at the time from Knoxville. I lived in Knoxville, Fountain City at the time. I was driving to my doctor's appointment that morning. And I was actually doing DoorDash. I was doing DoorDash and Uber Eats at the time. And I think I stopped doing Postmates because Postmates was bought out by Uber. Yeah, that's what happened. Postmates was bought out by Uber. So anyway, I stopped doing that. I'm sorry. Let me get back to my story. So it was July the 6th, the day before my dad's birthday. I was going to Morristown. I had a doctor's appointment there. I was seeing Dr. Harris Pain Clinic. And I was going to go put some flowers on my dad's grave and do a DoorDash in Morristown and then go to my doctor's appointment. Then after my doctor's appointment, I was going to do a DoorDash and then go home. But actually, I didn't do the DoorDash after the doctor's appointment. I was just on my way home. I just went home. And I was on my way home from Morristown, and I have driven from Morristown to Knoxville. I have driven on 81 before to 40. I have gone that way before. But I don't know, growing up, me and the family, I guess because we lived on the west side of Morristown while we used to always do this, but I've always gone down 11E. It's actually shorter that way. I know you gotta go through Jefferson City and all those red lights going that way, but that's just the way I always went. Let me adjust my camera. I got my camera on a tripod right now. Hold on. Is that better adjustment? So I was on my way home, and I was on 11E, headed to Knoxville. Watch where you're going. It's about to run into something. I was on my way home. Okay, folks? I was on my way home. I'll never forget this. I'll never, ever forget this. This was the most traumatic thing one of the most traumatic things I ever went through in all my days of living. One of them. I guess it's too late in the day for a cup of coffee, isn't it? Probably. I was on my way home, and my low back, this was the low back problem. It felt like a nail stuck me in the ass bone. It was so hard in my low back, driving home on 11E. I thought I was going to pass out. I mean, hard in my low back. And I'll never forget this, what I was thinking in my mind when it hit me hard like that. I remember thinking, ignore that. I kept telling myself, ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. And after about 5 minutes or so, I'm like, holy crap, I can't ignore this. This is too hard to ignore, too hard to ignore. It's too hard to ignore. And I had my pain medicine with me in the car, but the pain medicine I need to take, you're not allowed to drive on it. And I don't drive on it, even though, I mean, I could have taken that pain medicine and it wouldn't really have impaired me until I got home, because that medicine takes like 45 minutes to an hour to kick in. But I don't do that anyway. I wait until I wait until I know I ain't driving no more before I take my pain medicine. That's just the way I roll with pain medicine. I don't take no chances. And I'm thinking, man, I can't even take my pain medicine. My back's hurting me and I'm by myself. If I had somebody driving me, I could have just took my pain medicine and let them drive, but I couldn't. I had to wait till I got home to take my pain medicine. So I'm like, I can't take my pain medicine. My back is killing me. I can't take it till I get home. And I'm like on 11E, somewhere around New Market area, somewhere around there. Or I just left not Chattanooga. I just left Jefferson City. I'm in the New Market area. And I first told myself, ignore it. And then after about 5 minutes or so, I'm thinking, hell, I can't ignore this. It's too bad. So I'm going down a road and I'm looking for a place to pull over. Why? Because I've been sitting too long. At the time, I didn't realize this in the moment, but what set the pain off in my back is I drove to Morristown. That's about an hour. I drove to my dad's graveyard. That's another 20 minutes. I did DoorDash. That's probably another 30 minutes. By that time, 2 hours had gone by of me driving in my car. Then I was at a doctor's appointment, sitting up in the... See, when I'm sitting up like this, my back's bent like that. That'll set my back pain off more than anything. And where I was at when the pain started in my back, I had been setting up for like 3 hours. That's what set that pain off in my back. I know now. And it's like, I can't pull over. So I'm thinking, there's nowhere to pull over but the emergency lane, okay? I'm going down 11E and there's nowhere to pull over but the emergency lane. It took me about 10 minutes to where I could find a place to pull over. Where I was at on 11E, there wasn't no place really to pull over except the emergency lane. I didn't want to pull over an emergency lane because then the police officer comes, or whoever might come behind you and say, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. My back's hurting. That's why I didn't want to pull over there. So I found a place to pull over, but it took me about 10 minutes to get there. 10 minutes may not seem like a long time, but it is when you're hurting. 10 minutes feels like an hour. When you're hurting like that, 10 minutes feels like a freaking hour. It just feels like eternity. I pulled over at that Marathon gas station there, right on the, I don't know if it's either far east side of Knoxville or the far west side of Strawberry Plains. That gas station. I've not been there in a while. I think it used to be a Marriott gas station. I pull over in that gas station and I get out of my car because I need to get out because I need to stand up because that bending in my back is what's setting the pain off. I really need to lay down flat is what I really need to do, but there's no place to lay down flat unless I'm going to lay down on the ground, and somebody's going to wonder, what's wrong with you? What are you laying down on the ground? So the second option is just stand up and walk. So I stood up, walked around my car, and my whole body was just shaking, trembling in pain. And I looked at my GPS. Now, I don't use a GPS to find my way home. I like looking at all the data. I like the data. I like looking at the data on the GPS. This is why I got that on. I just think because the data shows you how many miles is left till you get home. The data tells you about what time approximately it thinks you're going to get home. It tells you how much time, how many miles, everything. Oh, I like looking at all that data on the GPS. This is why I got it on. And where I'm at, I remember the GPS telling me I should be home in about 20 minutes. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking. 20 minutes is not that big of a deal, Tim. It's not very long. When you're hurting, it is. If 20 minutes feels like 2 hours when you're hurting like that. And I remember telling myself, walking around, I sat in a car and I had to be my own coach. I had to coach myself. What I mean by coach myself? I had to tell myself, Timbo, don't worry about it. You'll be home in 20 minutes. Timbo, the weather's beautiful. Timbo, you can pull over as many times as you need to wherever to get home. If you need to pull over 25 times, that'd be like that'd be less than a mile. Because it was only like, I don't know how many times that would be. I'm not sure what the distance was. I just remember the time said it was about 20 minutes I'd be home. And I made it home. And I told myself then, that's it. I'm not driving to Marshtown by myself no more. That's when the pain medicine's got me so screwed up. Gabapentin got me so screwed up. It's gabapentin. And I'm on gabapentin, and I'm on, say it in a minute, Tylenol, and I'm on Celebrex, which is the gabapentin that's got me so messed up right now. It's for my pain. Probably shouldn't be talking and doing the YouTube, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, so that was the time, that was 2020. That was my experience that made me too afraid to drive far away from home. I used to drive far away from home. I used to drive all the time far away home until that happened. What made me afraid to drive on the highway? Same year, I can't remember the day. I think it was in October 2000. This was like 4 years ago. I remember I was doing Uber one morning, and I was having a very good morning. You know, a lot of times my back and my neck problem hits me right when I'm feeling the best. It's like when I had the hematoma in my leg back last Thanksgiving. When I woke up on Thanksgiving morning, I was doing really, really well. My back was feeling really, really good on Thanksgiving morning. And I actually thought about going on a walk that morning. And then I remember telling myself, no, you better not go on a walk. Because you know how your back is. It could be feeling good and all of a sudden it slams you down the ground. So I said, no, I better not do that because it's Thanksgiving and I didn't want to have to bother somebody on Thanksgiving if that was to happen. It may not happen, but it could, and I didn't want to take a chance. So I was getting this wheelchair ready to go out on a wheelchair ride instead of walking, even though my back was doing really good because I just didn't want to take a chance. So I got the wheelchair out. It was sitting over here. This is the window this is the sliding glass door I fell out of. But see this concrete step right there? See that step right there? Thanksgiving morning on November 23rd, 2023, I step out of this door. And my back went out on me in a way, it just knocked, my back just boom, popped like a gun. It shot like a gun in my low back. Here I've been doing really well. Wham! Brought me down to the ground. My leg landed right on that step right there, and it had to hit hard because I had this huge hematoma on my leg from that fall. See, I was doing really well that morning. All of a sudden, it goes out on me. That's why I got a walker. I use that walker. So far, that walker's working. That walker keeps me from falling like that. But anyway, back to my story about Uber. I was driving one morning, and I was having a damn good morning. The weather was good. I was feeling good. Believe it or not, I have moments I feel good. I was working good, making money. Just a terrific morning, terrific day. The weather and everything was doing well. And I was getting ready to go home because I usually work in the morning. And I usually work first thing in the morning. And then lunchtime, I go home for the day. And I thought, I guess I'll go home for the day. See, I can't drive too long in my car because remember what I told you in the first story? If I sit too long in my car, it'll make my back pain. It'll fire my back pain up. So I'm like thinking, okay, I better call it a day before it gets into my back problem. Because I've been feeling pretty good. So I was on my way home. I'm going westbound on Kingston Pike, I believe. Yeah, westbound on Kingston Pike. I take a right on the North Shore, headed to the paper mill exit. I get on the paper mill exit. Then I get on 40. Now at the time, I don't have any driving anxiety. And I'll never forget this day. I'm on 40, headed to 640. I'm in the far right-hand lane because that's where you got to be to get on 640. And then it's like a screwdriver just stabbed me in the neck so hard. Screwdriver stabbed me in the neck so freaking hard. And I remember a silver gasoline truck to the left of me. I've been having an excellent day. And everything going perfect. And then all of a sudden, wham. Ooh-wee. It like to knock me out driving. It was so hard. I mean, I went from a level 0 to a level 10 in pain in a hurry. And kicked my adrenaline in. You know me, I got the GPS on, showing me how much distance I got till I get home. I like looking at that data. And I hit a button on the Waze app to get me to the Western Avenue exit. It says 1.5 miles. 1.5 miles feels like an eternity. It feels like a long, long ways when you're hurting like that. And when you're in fear like that. I don't know. I don't see. It just hits me really hard like a screwdriver stab. And then after that stab, it aches and throbs. It feels real tight. But I don't know when that stab's going to come back again. That stab's liable to knock me out. So on that day, I told myself, that's it. I am not driving on this damn highway no more. I'm just going to do side roads, back roads. I'm not driving 70 miles an hour on this friggin' highway, then I'll have a perfect day, and all of a sudden slams me real hard in the neck. It's like a screwdriver. So that's when I started being too scared to drive on the interstate. But I'm trying to break myself of it. I'm practicing my driving anxiety, but that's what's making me have driving anxiety. The fear of my low back, the fear of my neck, because you just have to be in my body to know what I was going through. I know some people live with a lot of pain and they don't let that bother their driving, but hell, it bothers me. I mean, you let somebody stick a screwdriver in the back of your neck when you're driving. That don't mess with your concentration? What the heck? And you got to be concentrating, don't you, to drive? Duh. Anyway. That's my story of how I got into driving anxiety, even though I'm messed up right now on gabapentin. That gabapentin's got me so effed up. right now. I don't like feeling this way. I'm drunk as a skunk. Do I talk it? I feel it. So I'm going to put this on my YouTube wall, but this is how my driving anxiety got started. Pain in my neck, pain in my low back's how it all got started with me, folks. So anyway, now I'm stuck here in my apartment going around and around in a wheelchair. I want to go outside, but I feel weird going outside if I'm too messed up. I feel like somebody's going to say, "Are you drunk?" I don't know. I just got a complex about that. I just don't like being in front of people like this. Different being live, though, on YouTube. Different. But anyway, thanks for watching. That's my story of how I got into driving anxiety. That's what happened.